Hi everyone, I'm Sal Balahi and I'm here with a Steel Mace karate tune-up exercise that you can do. If you're not quite ready for the fancy 360s and some of the other stuff we get into, this is something that you can do that's pretty entry level and will really benefit your karate. Doesn't matter what style of karate, whatever your background is, you are probably using your hips in some way, whether you're doing a sort of a forward back motion or you have one of these double hip motions. We recruit a lot of our power from the ground up through our hips. And this is an exercise that will help you build some of that power and stability in your hip girdle and down through the floor. For today's video, I'm using a 10-pound steel mace. I don't recommend going much heavier than this, at least not at the start. When you get a little bit more experience with this exercise, maybe you could go a little heavier, but I don't know that I would recommend it. All right, so we're going to work on, as I covered in the intro video, this Steel Mace hip halo. It's really going to help us build some strength and power in our hips. It doesn't really matter what style of karate, what your background is, you are going to want to draw some sort of power from your hips down through the ground, up through the ground. So I'm going to take the mace here in a reverse grip, so meaning my thumb is towards the top of the handle or the tail, depending on what terminology you use. And I'm going to stand nice, tall, and strong. So no different than if you're getting ready to start, a kata here. You want to be tall and strong. We're not slouched in any way, but assume a similar posture. So from here, I'm going to start to pass the mace around my body. Just as it gets to the middle of my back, I'm handing it to the other hand. Both hands are grabbing it in a reverse grip. Okay? This is just to get us familiar with changing hands. And now I'm going to take it the other direction. I'm going to turn to the side. So I'm just passing it around. Okay, and this can be just a good warm-up. I recommend before you do this exercise, you are getting warmed up. Don't try to go full hog on this, when your muscles are cold. Okay, so from there, I've got it in my right hand. I'm going to swing the mace around and rebound it off of my left hip. So I'm going to pass in the front and push away. So if I'm really relaxed in my stance and I do this, it's going to kind of push me all over the place, all right? I have no power. It's just sort of pushing my hips to the side. So I want to be tall and strong and use a strong core, my glutes, my hips, my inner thighs, to rebound and accelerate the mace back around my body here. Rebound. Rebound. I can do this a little bit more exaggerated if I want to, okay? This doesn't have to be really fast, but I need to maintain some momentum so it doesn't fall and hit me in the ankles, okay? But if I don't give it something with my hips, I'm going to really exaggerate here, it becomes hard to keep that momentum going. So every time I'm coming around, I should be re-accelerating, passing here. The degree to which I allow my body to twist is really whatever I'm comfortable with. Okay, I might let my heel come off the ground and really just work on more of a dynamic hip twist here. But as you're doing this, if you do start to introduce, different types of stances in this, which you can, always be aware of what's going on with your knees. So if you're doing this exercise and one of your knees is caving in, you want to address that. Okay, be strong through those legs throughout. So from here, I can stay with this, or I can start introducing maybe some footwork. So I'm just stepping forward into kind of a front stance, okay? Trying to use the power of my legs and my hips to re-accelerate it back. And there's a lot of different ways that you can get fancy with the footwork. I may show that in a follow-up video. The last thing I'll say here before I wrap up is what's going on with your upper body. So we want to stay nice, tall, and strong. Don't let your shoulder pull out. So if you're doing this and the shoulder's really cranking backwards, you want to keep that shoulder down and in that forward in that shoulder socket or shoulder girdle here. So just like if I was punching here, the shoulder stays here. As I'm taking the mace around me, the shoulder stays here. Don't let it open up. If that's happening, you need to address your structure and pull yourself back together here, okay? So there's a lot of overlap in terms of how we're building our structure for this exercise. and what we would do in any style of karate or other martial arts for that matter. So that's the exercise. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions.